Hello friends, Namaskar, this is Sanjay. Welcome to part 4 of this video series where we will be looking at some important concepts related to Vygotsky such as his socio-cultural theory, ZPD and scaffolding. And we will also be solving 150 questions from various previous CTET question papers. This video series has 10 parts, and if you have started watching from somewhere in the middle, I strongly recommend that you should go back and start watching from part 1 onwards, where I have given a brief introduction and explained some of important concepts like sociocultural theory, ZPD, scaffolding and constructivist classroom in a very simplified manner. In each part, we will be solving 15 questions, adding up to 150 questions. There are two versions of this video. This is the English version. If you prefer the answers and explanations in Hindi, then there is a Hindi version as well on our channel which you can watch. And this is part 4 of the series. Why is Vygotsky so important in CTET paper 1? Well, in some question papers, you can answer up to 12 questions out of 30 if you are familiar with the Vygotsky's theories and concepts. They are quite simple and easy to remember. Moreover, due to the influence of the constructivist theory on the national education policy, you can solve many of the national education policy questions as well if you are familiar with Vygotsky's theories and concepts. So let's get started. In this question, we have been given a conversation between the child and the teacher, and the child starts off by saying that the child is not able to fix this part of the puzzle. And what the teacher is doing is giving some help in the form of hints and clues so that the child can solve the puzzle on his or her own. We have been asked what kind of social interaction is this. Now here the teacher is actually providing some support so that the child can solve the problem on his or her own. Therefore, this sort of an interaction is called scaffolding, and that is the answer to this question. Children construct new knowledge on the basis of which of the following? If you know the meaning of some of the words used in the answer choices, it is very easy to answer this question. So you should look up on words like ambiguous, irrelevant, alien, foreign and current cognitive level and understand what they mean so that you'll be able to choose the correct answer easily. Now, the last one says which is extremely beyond their current cognitive level. For example, if you teach 7th standard mathematics or biology to a 1st standard student, then that is beyond the current cognitive level of the student. Therefore, the student will not be able to understand anything. Therefore, he or she cannot construct any new knowledge on this information. Therefore, this can be eliminated. Next, what is completely alien and foreign to them? If you are talking about food or breakfast to Indian students and you tell them that you should have tortillas and tacos for breakfast. So tortillas and tacos are Mexican food items and you are not going to be eating them so regularly in India. Therefore, these are alien and foreign to Indian students. Therefore, they'll not be able to understand what you are talking about and they'll not be able to construct any new knowledge out of it. Therefore, this can be eliminated. Next, what is ambiguous and irrelevant? If it is ambiguous, that is confusing, and if it is irrelevant, then students will not be interested in that. Therefore, they cannot use this information to construct any new knowledge. Therefore, this can also be eliminated. So, we are left with one choice, which is the correct answer here. So, if you give students any new information, then they will connect it to the knowledge that they already understand and what they already believe in. And they will construct new knowledge out of the extra information or the additional information that you have given. Therefore, the first answer, what is already understood and believed by them, is the correct answer to this question. Children learn by doing which of these activities? Now, this is a very simple question because if you look at it, all the 4 activities are learning activities. Children will learn by doing, by seeing things, by listening to what other people are telling them, and also by reading. Therefore, the correct answer is option 4, that is 1, 2, 3 and 4. Children of 4 to 5 years often talk to themselves. This talk, according to Lev Vygotsky, is what? Now, you should remember, Lev Vygotsky talks about 3 types of speech: public speech, private speech and silent inner speech. Public speech is for general communication and private speech and silent internal speech are for self-regulation and self-direction. Now, children of 4 to 5 years. So, we are talking about private speech here because private speech starts from the age of 4 years onwards. And private speech is used for self-regulation, that is regulation of their own thinking. So, that is the correct answer. Children's engagement with learning in school is influenced by which of the following factors? Now, if you look at all the options, 3 of them are directly based on Lev Vygotsky's theories, that is social factors, peer relations, which is also social factors, and cultural values. So the correct answer should have all these three, because as per Lev Vygotsky, social factors, cultural factors and language, all the three influence the child's learning in school. Therefore, the correct answer should have 1, 2 and 3 in it. Only one option, option number 3, has all the three, 1, 2 and 3. Therefore, this has to be the correct answer. Now the last option, that is self-esteem. Self-esteem can also be translated as self-importance or self-confidence. Therefore, self-esteem also influences the children's learning in school. Therefore, this also is correct. Therefore, option number 3 is the correct answer. Classroom environment has a significant influence on the children's learning. To inculcate a culture of mastery-oriented learning, that is, learning that focuses on understanding rather than just memorization. Right? Learning in the classroom environment should be which of the following? Now, if you look at it, we can answer this question using Vygotsky's principles or Vygotsky's theory and the NEP as well. Because Vygotsky says that social factors such as peer interaction are very, very important for the child to be able to learn. And the NEP also gives a lot of importance to interactive and collaborative classrooms. Therefore, when we look at the answer choices, the last one talks about cooperative and collaborative learning environment. So collaborative is nothing but Vygotsky's social factor, that is peer interaction, and cooperative is also something that is spoken about by the NEP. Therefore, the last option, option 4, is the correct answer. Conceptual changes in children's thinking should be encouraged by doing which of the following? That is, if you want to understand the children understand the concepts or the basics in a better manner, then which of these following approaches should be used? This question can be answered in two ways. We can use Vygotsky's principles or theories, and we can also use what is mentioned in the NEP. Now, the NEP says there should be focus on reasoning and understanding, and NEP specifically discourages rote learning, memorization and punishment. Now, when we look at the answer choices, the first one, punishment, is not as per NEP. So this can be eliminated. Next, memorization is also not as per NEP. Eliminate this. Repeated drill and practice is also nothing but just memorization, irrespective of whether the child has understood it or not. Therefore, repeated drill and practice, that is also memorization, can be eliminated. So we are left with one answer choice, that is giving multiple examples and encouraging children to reason. So this is the correct answer as per NEP. Now, even if you look at Vygotsky's theory, Vygotsky talks about scaffolding, where we provide support to the children when they are understanding or learning the basics. Now, providing multiple examples and encouraging children to reason or think for themselves and construct knowledge on their own is nothing but scaffolding. Therefore, using Vygotsky's principle also, we can say that option 2 is the correct answer. Constructivist view of learning suggests that children dash construction of their own knowledge. So we have to fill in the blank. Now, as soon as you think about constructivist view of learning, we have to remember that this theory or this view says that children actively construct knowledge in their own mind. Therefore, the key word here is active. So look at the answer choices which have the word active in it. The first one, have no role to play, incorrect. Are solely dependent on adults, incorrect. Play an active role. So this is the correct answer. The last one, solely dependent on textbooks, is also incorrect. So the shortcut to answering questions like this is, remember, constructivist view, active is the keyword, and look at any answer choice which has active in it. Constructivists such as Jean Piaget and Lev Vygotsky define learning as which of the following? Now, when you look at the answer choices, you have to use the shortcut that I spoke about earlier. That is, you have to look at the keyword. Constructivist approach says that children actively construct knowledge in their own mind. So the keyword here is active. So look at all the answer choices. The first one is acquisition of skills. This can be eliminated. Next, conditioning of responses, eliminate. Passive repetitive process, eliminate. The last one says process of meaning making by active engagement. Therefore, the keyword that we are looking for is present here. Therefore, this is the correct answer. Also, acquisition of skills can happen through repeated drill and practice. That is, even if you don't understand the concept, you can acquire some skills. Therefore, this is not learning as per the constructivist theory. Next, conditioning of responses is nothing but behavioral training. That is, you are responding to a particular stimulus or a particular type of situation, even if you don't understand why you are responding that way. Therefore, this is also not learning as per constructivist view. Next, passive repetitive process. Passive repetitive process is where even if you don't understand it, you are just repeating the same thing again and again because you have been conditioned in such a way. Therefore, this is also not as per the constructivist view. Therefore, the last option, that is process of meaning making by active engagement, is the correct answer here. Development is dependent on which of the following? Now, if you look at development per se, there are two major factors or two major attributes, that is nature and nurture. Nature is what is inbuilt, that is nothing but the genetic makeup or the DNA, and nurture is how the child is actually brought up. So this nurture includes the physical environment and the social and cultural factors. Therefore, development is dependent on all of these three because all of these three are part of nature and nurture together. Therefore, the last option, that is 1, 2 and 3, is the correct answer. Discussions in groups, that is group discussions, and positive student-teacher relationships characterize which type of classroom? Now we are talking about discussion in groups, that is peer interaction, and we are also talking about positive teacher-student relationships. Therefore, we are talking about a constructivist classroom as per Vygotsky's principles. Now, if you look at what is a constructivist classroom, it is nothing but a progressive classroom. Therefore, that is the correct answer. If you look at the other options, textbook centric. Here, there is group discussions which is happening, that is peer interaction or peer learning, and there is social interaction which is happening between the teacher and student. Therefore, it is not just textbook centric. Therefore, eliminate. Behavioristic, in the sense children are not being taught to behave in a certain way. They are being encouraged to discuss and interact with teachers. Therefore, this is not a behavioristic classroom. Next, this is not teacher centric because students are being given importance through allowing them to discuss in groups and there is interaction between the teacher and student as well. Therefore, this is not teacher centric, or more importance is not being given only to the teacher here. Therefore, this also can be eliminated. Therefore, this is a progressive classroom. During a task, Saina is talking to herself about ways in which she can proceed with the task. According to Lev Vygotsky's ideas on language and thought, this kind of private speech is a sign of which of the following? Now, Lev Vygotsky says that private speech, where children talk to themselves loudly, is used for self-regulation and self-instruction. Therefore, if you look at the answer choices, the second one says self-regulation. That is the correct answer. Flexible seating arrangement and learners working in groups are characteristic of what type of classroom? Now we can see here that there is flexibility for the students to go and sit anywhere in the classroom with anyone depending on what kind of activities that they are doing, and there is an emphasis on working in groups, that is there is peer interaction that is happening here. So since there is peer interaction or social interaction that is happening, we can say that this is a socio-constructivist classroom. Therefore, that is the correct answer. Now, are children being taught in this classroom to behave in a certain way? No. Therefore, this is not a behavioristic classroom. Is the teacher getting the most amount of importance here? No, because children are being given the opportunity to sit anywhere and they are being encouraged to work in groups. So, children are getting more importance in this classroom. Therefore, this is not teacher centric. And is this a textbook centric classroom where only textbook is being used for gaining knowledge? No, because children are being encouraged to work in groups and interact with each other. Therefore, this is not textbook centric. Giving cues to children and offering support as and when needed is an example of which of the following? Now, giving cues and offering support, these are indications of scaffolding. So if we look at Vygotsky's theory, if we are giving clues or cues to children so that they can understand things better, and if we are offering them support when they are learning, this is nothing but scaffolding, and that is the correct answer. Giving students the opportunity to discuss their experiences of celebration of festivals in the classroom and building upon that information is an example of what? Now here students are being given an opportunity to discuss their experiences, that is they are using social interaction, and plus they are also bringing their cultural experiences, because celebration of festivals depends on what type of culture that they come from, right? So children are bringing their social skills or social experiences and cultural experiences into the classroom, and all the children are interacting with each other, discussing with each other, and building upon that information and converting it into knowledge. So if you look at it, what's happening here is there is social interaction which is happening, there is cultural interaction in the form of festivals, and language is being used for this interaction. So if you look at SCL, then we are talking about social constructivism as per Vygotsky's theories. Therefore, social constructivism is the correct answer. With that, we have completed the 15 questions in this series. If you have any questions, comments, or feedback, please post them below, and I will see you again in the next part of this series.